I'm James Ingram.
I'm Logan Tellier.
And we're in Mr. Johnson's second block astronomy class.
We're here to teach you about one of the greatest astronomers of all time, Galileo Galilei.
Galileo Galilei was born in 1564 in Pisa, Italy. He died in 1642. He was an Italian mathematician, inventor, and philosopher.
He was known for his rather radical approach to astronomy and his embracement of new technology. He made his own telescope in 1609, and what he saw conflicted greatly with the philosophy of Aristotle and proved much new data to support the ideas of Copernicus.
Using a telescope, Galileo discovered that the moon had mountains, valleys, and craters. He also discovered imperfections in the sun known as sunspots, which was very conflicting to the knowledge of the day because society perceived the sun as perfect in the image of God in heaven.
He also inferred that the sun rotates on an axis roughly perpendicular to the elliptic plane. Using a telescope, Galileo observed 4 small points of light orbiting Jupiter that were invisible to the naked eye. He later realized that these were the 4 moons of Jupiter. With this discovery, it clearly proved that the Earth was not the center of all things.
He found that Venus showed a complete cycle of phases, proving that at least one planet orbits around the sun. He published a book in 1610 called Sidereus Nuncius, detailing his observational findings and his controversial conclusions, supporting the Copernican theory. With this, Galileo was directly challenging both the scientific orthodoxy and religious dogma of his day.
He was publicly ridiculed for his ideas and was instructed to abandon his astronomical pursuits, which he refused to do. In 1632, he wrote a book called The Dialogue Concerning the Two Chief World Systems. It compared the Ptolemaic system and the Copernican system. The book constantly defeated the Aristotelian method. He wrote it in Italian, which got him into trouble with the church, which caused him to be put in prison for the remainder of his life, where he would later die.
In 1992, the church publicly forgave Galileo, but the damage to the orthodox view of the universe was done. It is obvious that Galileo was much ahead of his time in his discoveries, inventions, and findings, which often got him into trouble with mainstream society, which was very closed-minded at the time. We now know that he was correct in much of his findings, and we can only imagine where we would be today without his revolutionary ideas. We give credit to the Astronomy Today 4th edition book for the information we use in our presentation today.
Yeah, it's like the song I like to call Life of Galileo. Yeah, first name Galileo,
Last name Galilei.
number 1 in the business of astronomy, discovering stars and moons above, but when he came through it, his church showed him no love.
He observed the cycles and phases of Venus. He was so freaking smart, she'd call him a genius.
He was so revolutionary in his thoughts, he even discovered that the sun has spots.
He was publicly cursed and instructed to quit. Because of him is the reason I split. Hey, shout out to my Westwood Warriors.
Shout out to Mr. Johnson.